Hello everyone, welcome back to Rice Finance here. And sorry for the delay on videos. I've been having a lot of personal issues, such as my keyboard ended up breaking and I've actually got my identity stolen. So I've been dealing with that over the last few days. So it's been kind of a rough one, but I apologize for missing. My videos should start going a little bit more back on track. So let's dive right into it. So it is Tuesday, but I want to do a Monday market recap for my Monday market chat series. So let's get right into it. So let's go ahead over the cues. So I don't know if you guys remember, as per last week, I basically indicated that we would probably start seeing some sort of a rollover and sort of a consolidation. I ended up being correct in that one. As you could see, the cues over the last week seemed to kind of fall down right here into this mid Bollinger Band and then kind of bounce around their 50-day moving average. Now you could finally see that sort of rollover. So I would not be surprised if following these next couple days, this sort of rolls over and falls back down to the 371. However, I expect this to be kicking up maybe around the 374, right around here. I wouldn't be surprised to see if the Qs ended up going a little bit downwards and going a little sideways downward trial until it could sort of stabilize, as we saw those markets were heated up last week. Let's go into the SPY and see if the same thing occurred. As you can see, it didn't dive more. It was more of a consolidation. But again, as you can see via the indicators, the DMA seems to be crossing over. The RSI seems to be peaked out at the top here. And you see that sort of consolidation, and these indicators need to sort of catch up here. So whether or not it's going to go upwards in the near future, I foresee just some consolidation. However, it all depends on, I see a lot of kicking up on the volume, and it all depends, I think, is going to be a kind of a crazy week starting at the end of the week to see whether or not where this market's actually going to end up. The big determination I feel like is going to be this Friday. I feel like depending on whether or not this market's going to continue its rally or if it's going to start to cool off will really be determined, I would estimate, by this Friday. Also, um, I don't know if you guys remember per last week, I always said that the market looked like it was going to turn over, um, with the exception of, in terms of the bonds, with the exception on if the Fed ended up saying anything. Well, the Fed said something. Jerome Powell came out, and just as predicted, he switched the market, which appeared to be going on a downwards trend, flipped it all the way upward, and now the bonds have now pushed right on up all the way up to the top of the Bollinger Band. Just as I predicted, the Fed likes to come in when the market looks like it's about to cool down and start saying some things to make the markets go the opposite way. I would not be surprised if some calls were purchased by Jerome Powell himself as the Fed announced and the jobs report came out and everything like that, which indicated that the market's slowing down, which of course, as you guys know, if you guys have been following the channel, the bonds are kind of the inverse. When the economy goes down, the bond uh, prices go up because the interest rates are expected to go down. Again, just for the bonds though, they do look to be very heated. They definitely blew past its Bollinger Band, its indicators, so I would not be surprised if immediately starting tomorrow we see some sort of a slowdown just in the beginning of the morning. The end of the day, it could go push up past, but we need some sort of a slowdown because it blew right past its indicators. Um, so I would not be surprised to see some indicators. The bonds are on this run though. They have been on this run from 81 all the way up to 94. I don't foresee this to go down anytime in the near future. I expect some sort of a consolidation to happen, but I foresee this to keep going on its bull run. There's no indications to show that this needs to slow down. I mean, even when you look on the weekly charts, it looks like it needs to hit, it's going to go and hit this 99 mark. So I think that this thing is going to probably go more towards the 99, 98 era, and then that's when we'll start to get some sort of consolidation. But I think even from there, even on the weekly chart, it's looking like this is going to be a bull run. So I would not expect to see this market slow down. Even on the monthly chart, you could see some sort of a continuation. So I would not be surprised to see if this thing kind of slows down tomorrow or maybe at the end of the week it sort of consolidates, but I would not be surprised to see a continuation in the bond market as all indications as well as the actual details of the economy seem to be going very bullish for the bonds. So with that being said, um, let's go into the VIX. So the VIX ended up trending a little bit down, but sort of consolidated a little bit. As you guys know, the VIX measures volatility, and it's kind of the opposite of the SPY and the Qs. So it kind of looks like the VIX seemed to peter out. I actually thought the VIX would kind of go up a little bit per my comments last week. However, I consolidation, I do kind of see a consolidation because the markets didn't really pump or didn't really tank yet. So I kind of see how there's a consolidation. Again, I wouldn't be surprised to see if on the daily chart this VIX starts to get heated up a bit when the spies and the Qs start to slow down, which is my expectation um, for the end of the week. Let's go on to commodities. So let's dive right into the energy sector. Oil tanked, which is good news for you guys who are interested in saving money in gas. Oil tanked, however, now it's starting to get to the bottom of the indicators. So I will say this, oil is kind of even though it kind of trades, even though it's kind of different, it kind of trades the opposite of the market. So even though oil tanked, I would not be surprised to see if this sort of rebounds as the market starts to come down. So I would expect to see higher gas prices. However, this was a big day today, as it looks like it went all the way up and then all the way down to down a percent and a half. But look at that, that's a massive candle movement. So very high in volatility, pretty high there as you can see. And I would expect this to sort of consolidate, but I wouldn't be surprised if this thing continues its downwards run. And then when the markets start to go down a little bit, I wouldn't be surprised if this kind of goes in a little upwards motion. We're kind of in a weird time in the market where you're going to see a lot of consolidation between pretty much everything. It almost seems like everything kind of blew past all of the indicators and everything needs to kind of rebalance and resettle. And then before we could really determine where the markets are going to be over the next couple weeks. But I think that I'm very bearish in oil prices in the long run just because of the fact that as the election uh, comes to closer and closer, I think that a big target is going to be the price of oil and food, and I foresee the attempt to try to lower the gas prices in order to persuade people into believing the economy is not as bad as it is for votes for different presidential elections. So I foresee that in the long run, these oil prices start to slow down. So let's dive into silver. Um, as I predicted from last week, silver needed to kind of slow down, and these are two massive red days that just occurred between today and yesterday. I actually thought that the slowdown of silver would have happened last week, but it ended up coming today and yesterday. But as you can see, these are two massive candles, bounce right back down to that mid Bollinger Band. I wouldn't. This is big gaps, so I wouldn't be surprised to see if this silver kind of pumps up eventually. But for now, it's kind of like a falling knife. So you never want to chase the losses whenever something's falling this quickly and this fast with this much volatility. So I would highly recommend just waiting for some sort of a consolidation on this. But I do predict this to kind of sort of consolidate. I don't know. I believe it might end up consolidating with the Bollinger Band, but as you can see, it hit right on that weekly chart. It hit right on that moving average. So you could see it perfectly bouncing off of that and right off of the top Bollinger Band. That's why I love these indicators because as you can see, it hits these perfectly, pretty much to a T every single day. So if you ever are trading, it's important to just look at the indicators to really identify if you want to think, when should I get into a position? Look at the indicators. A lot of the times they're just going to bounce right off of these things, especially the moving averages and the Bollinger Bands. Um, I recommend you guys get those indicators added to your thing, and then also look at the DMAs and the RSIs because they're pretty good indicators whether something's going bullish or short. So I highly recommend you guys look into that. But for now, I would kind of just chill on the silver because it's looking like it hit maybe the bottom here of this moving average for the weekly chart, but I never want to catch a falling knife. I'd wait for some sort of consolidation. I'm assuming the same thing happened to gold. Yep. As you can see, a two big candles. That was actually a massive green day right here. Up 1.5% on there. But then down today on these two big green candles, again, it's probably gonna be the same scenario. Whereas, yep, bouncing right off of the moving average, upper Bollinger Band, slowing down. However, gold does look a little bit more bullish. For those of you who don't know indicators, this kind of looks like a bull flag, where it kind of consolidates, 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 and then all of a sudden shoots up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see as the economy starts to go down, more and more investors start pouring into silver and gold. But again, you never want to catch a falling knife, so I would wait for some sort of good consolidation before I would even think about investing into it. For me personally, because again, I can't provide financial advice. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Okay, so let's dive into the wheat and the corn. Wow, wheat actually had a fantastic week. Look at that movement. Oh my gosh. All the way down from the bottom Bollinger Band all the way to the top. That is a 40 cent movement, which is what? What is that? A 7%, 8% move? That's crazy. Just in one week. I kind of saw, I mean, I did not see this happening at all, to be honest with you. I think last week I said that I would stay away from this. I wonder if this is because of the fact that it probably blew past this indicator right here. I mean, this was a massive red day. As you see, it blew right past this indicator and then it brought right back up to indicators. Now we're at the top of the indicator though. So yeah, look at that on the weekly chart. Bottom Bollinger Band. That bottom Bollinger Band, as you could see, even in history, as soon as it hits that, it seems to rocket up. Even right here, right? Hits that bottom Bollinger Band, rocket. Hits this bottom Bollinger Band, rocket. Hits this bottom Bollinger Band, rocket. As you can see, even that's on the weekly chart, by the way. So as you could see, these indicators really kind of move these things. There's a lot of automated bots trade off of these commodities because there's not a lot of volatility that's included in here. Not a lot of people that are actually buying these things. Mostly automated bots. So again, this might just be a short-term rally. I don't foresee a lot of these things kind of switching over anytime soon. But this really blew right all the way up to its indicators. I would not be surprised to see some sort of a consolidation that has to happen. This thing needs to slow down. It went up way too fast, way too quickly, and it sort of gapped up a little bit right around here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if it slows down right back down to the 580 section and sort of consolidates and sits around there. So I'm assuming the same thing happened with corn because they kind of correspond together. Yeah, look at that movement. Although not as much as the wheat, which is I'm surprised about, but almost hit that top of the Bollinger Band. Kind of blew past all the moving averages and the mid Bollinger Bands, kind of sitting out there in the middle of nowhere. DMA looks like it's going to cross over. RSI's looks like it's already up high. Let's see in the weekly chart where we're seeing this. Wow, perfect. Right on that mid Bollinger Band, hits that. As you can see, look at that wick. Hits that Bollinger Band, slows down. So again, looks like we're going to get some more consolidation as it blew right past that indicator. Now, here's when I believe a lot of consolidation is going to happen for this wheat and this corn. Maybe it's got to slow down and it's going to be consolidating. I would not be surprised to see if this is in a consolidation pattern for weeks, um, especially for the corn, because as you can see, corn looks like it's just going to consolidate. So I fully would expect this for the next couple weeks, corn to kind of be in this putzing around, sit somewhere between the 23 and 21, and just sort of sit around those markers for the next, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks before we see any movement. But if you look on the monthly chart, it's holding right on that moving average. Yep, right there. It's holding right there. So as you can see, it looks like it's going to consolidate. Whether or not this thing's going to continue its bull run, I don't know. Honestly, I don't really foresee it happening. However, I can never be too sure. Let's wait for the indicators to see what's actually going to end up happening. But these seem to be sort of corresponding with the down market of the Qs. So they're kind of inverse. So if you believe the market's going to go down, I would probably think about investing in corn, wheat, and the VIX. If you believe the market's going to go up, the Qs, SPY, and silver seems to be maybe not silver, but the Qs and the SPY seem to be good indicators. But I don't foresee the Qs and the SPY to be going on some crazy bull run unless if the Fed starts to come out and see stuff. But I see a lot of consolidation that's going to happen the rest of the week, so I don't wouldn't expect any crazy volatility moves unless if some crazy news comes out. So that's just my 2 cents for today. Before I go, I just want to say my last video had got a lot of views. I want to thank everyone who's new for checking out my last video and all that. And hopefully those of you who are new, you feel free to let me know what other kinds of videos you're interested in, or if you have any questions or anything else that you want me to see. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. But for now, this can be it for me today. I'll probably see you guys back again tomorrow with another video. And other than that, have a great day, you guys. Take care. Bye bye now.